Um, yeah, namaskara to everybody. So just a quick recap. We looked at, we started the looking at different swara sounds, vowel sounds, and then we just begun to look at consonants or the Vyanjana classification. In the swara, we have not looked at all the swaras or all the vowels, only few vowels. So because we are following a different approach of trying to understand what these sounds are in a natural way, rather than following some book. The swaras, they exist independently, or they can be pronounced without touching the jufa or the tongue in any part of inside the oral cavity, which is our main instrument for pronunciation. Instrument in the sense, main apparatus for pronunciation. We have the kantha, throat, and the oral cavity. Kantha, or the throat, to produce the vibrations and to push the air out, and the oral cavity where we can articulate the air, and the instrument, which is for the most part it is the tongue, jufa, and sometimes we also use the other parts, including the lips. In the swara, we looked at e, u, which are the main base foundational swaras, vowels. Right? So I want to unmute a little bit, so because I got some questions. So my question is, we also noted that and there's a difference in the time they take to pronounce. And what is this time measurement called? Can someone unmute and talk? And what is the time measurement called here? Matra. So Matra, the literal meaning itself is measurement. Matra means unit of measurement, the literal meaning. So this word is used in a technical sense here, like we use like mile or kilometer. So that is some kind of a measurement. But here Matra literally means a measurement unit, but here it is also one Matra is used to indicate the time which is supposed to be used to pronounce or e or u, and double that it becomes sa. So a matra which is approximately equal to half a second, and how it is half a second, I have found it out. I mean, there is some scientific explanation to it, which is basically, to keep it short, it is the half of nimesha. Nimesha means the time required to, approximately you can say time required to blink the eyes. So that is about, it's about 0.8 seconds, and then half of it is of 0.45, 4.42 something seconds. So, but nimesha itself is not defined as time required to blink an eye. It also has calculations for the actual time period, which is a separate topic. But anyway, so now e, u. E, u. These are the fundamental swaras, and a, e, u. These are the elongated versions of the same vowels. I, O, O, they are the mixtures of the base or the previous vowels we saw. So A plus E is A, etc. So I also mentioned that we studied the sandhi here. So what is the sandhi? Sandhi means, what is the sandhi? Can anybody explain? Sandhi or joining.
Joining.
Yeah, but what it exactly means?
Combination of two sounds.
But combination of two sounds resulting into a different sound. That is a sandhi. Now here, so A is called sandhakshara. So that is a mixture of A and E. So this is one kind of sandhi we have seen. So A and E mixture A and E, I, etc. Now, similarly, I just wanted to point out, A is also a sandhi, right? Because we are mixing A twice and making A sound. So there is a change in the sound, A and A. Similarly, E elongated, it becomes E. E, change in the sound. Though the time is also different, but sound is also different, right? E. So this is also a kind of sandhi only. So it's called dirgha sandhi, if anybody wanted to know. Just a name given to it, dirgha sandhi. That because it is, dirgha means elongated. These are also called dirgha swaras, elongated vowels. A, E, U, dirgha swaras. And A, E, U, they are hasva or short swaras. Okay. Now coming to consonants, there was some question, I think. I'll just quickly explain. So is there any obstruction of the air? There is no obstruction of the air in pronouncing the swaras. They are free flows because there is no obstruction in the sense the instrument here, instrument means karana, because we saw there are three aspects while pronouncing any here. Sthanam, pronouncing any sound, but sthanam, karanam and prayatna. Sthanam is position where the air is being constricted. An instrument is with which the air is being constricted. Prayatna, what kind of effort is being done. In this case of vowels, the sthanam is defined. Where is the sthanam? Here. Not given here. So it was in my notes, I think, right? The sthanam is being defined for the vowels. For A is the kantha sthanam, the throat, and E talasthanam, okay, and E talasthanam, and U is the lips, is the sthanam. But here, as you see, that what is the instrument here? Instrument for A is jiffamulam, the base of the tongue, and for the E, short E or long E, the instrument karana is the madhya bhaga or the middle top of the tongue, and for the U, the instrument is lips, same as the sthanam. But technically, U, for the U, the top lip is defined as the sthanam and the lower lip is defined as the karanam, because sthanam is supposed to be stationary position. The sthanam is position. It's supposed to be stationary, and then the karanam is the one which moves, which does the movement. Now, for the vowels, the ones we studied, the prayatna, if you look at the prayatna, the prayatna is vivrata. Vivrata means open. The instrument does not touch anywhere. It comes near. When we say sthanam, it comes near the sthanam position, but it is not. So that's called upasamhara. Upasamhara means it's coming near. It does not touch. There is no sparsha. There is no touch or contact. So the air still flows, but because of that various constriction, the different sounds are produced. Now coming to Vyanjanam, Vyanjanakshārani or consonants. First thing we saw that Vyanjanaksharam or consonants, they cannot be pronounced without the help of a swara, vowel. Some swara is needed because swara is the one which releases the sound of the Vyanjanam. Swara brings out the swara is required or needed to bring out the sound of a Vyanjanam. Vyanjanam cannot itself come out. Now, here the ones which are shown here in the Aksharamala, these are the Vyanjana are shown with the A sound at the end. When we say Ka, we are ending it with A at the end there. So we cannot just say Ka. So as even if we try to pronounce Ka, for example, there was Vak was the last example we saw. Even if we want to say Vak, there is a little amount of A sound at the end. We try to abruptly stop it, but that is stopped with the A sound there. So in that case, the total matra, total unit is about half. When we are trying to abruptly stop it, in that also 1/4 of the matra belongs to the swara, the half of half, to bring out that swara. So here, when we say aksharas, these swaras are obviously the aksharas because they can be pronounced. And when we say or write it like this, with the A sound in it, they are also aksharas. But when we remove the A sound, because when we want to refer to the only Vyanjanam part of it, or only the consonant part of it without adding any swara at the end, then how do we refer to it? Because it cannot be pronounced. When I say, where is the sthanam or position of Ka, then that is actually I am saying Ka at the end. So, O at the end there. So, the question itself is not correct. What is the position of Ka? Because Ka has two sounds in it, the consonant part and the swara part. So to refer to such sound of only the consonant, so the Shiksha Shastra say to add Kara at the end. Kara. So if I want to refer to the Ka sound in the Ska, only the Vyanjanam or the consonant part, I say Kakara. Kakara. That means the Kakara means only the consonant part of Ka without adding A to it. But this Kara can be used with any sound. So I can say Akara, Ikara. It's not used only with the Kara, Vyanjanam. So in brief, we saw how these Vyanjanams or the consonants are categorized. They are categorized based on the position in the mouth or the oral cavity where the air is constricted. Now, as you see here, I have made another chart for today's discussion. In this chart, the first row here, the sthanam is anumola, root of upper jaw, and the karanam is jufa mola, root of tongue, ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. So these rows are the first 25 sounds in the consonants they are put into 5 different rows based on where the air is constricted. Now in this case, the air is completely stopped. Air is constricted means air can be completely stopped, air can be unhindered, free flow, or it can be little bit stopped. So all those things are possible with the use of the instrument at that position. Now, these first 25 Vyanjanams or consonants, the air is completely stopped. So the sthanam differs for each line. So hanumola and the talu, palate, murdha, crown, and dantamola, root of upper teeth, and ostha. Now, root of the upper teeth means it is actually the tooth. To touch the root of the tooth. It is not the jaw or the ridge. It is the actual tooth. Root of the upper tooth has to be touched with the jufagra or the karana or the instrument which is shown here, tongue tip. Then, so and as you see, this hanumola which is at the very back, talu, the next point of stopping, murdha, the further part where air has to be stopped, dantamola, then the next part, ostha is the front part. So that is the natural progression from back to front. Now, how the columns are there now? How the columns are classified? These are the first 25, and there are 8 more here. So 25 plus 8, there are total 33 consonants on the Aksharamala, on the Sanskrit alphabet chart. The previous one I showed you. Where is that? This one. Where the A is added, technically this is called Aksharamala. But when A is not added, this we can call it Varnamala. Varnamala, where the only Varna is there. Varna, a little bit we saw what is Varna last time. Varna is the intrinsic nature of that sound. Varna is literally meaning color, which is the nature of that nature of the sound here. So Varna, without having the nature of another sound, just the base sound is the Varna here. So we can call this Varnamala. So the first 25, why are they separated from the rest 8? Because based on the prayatna again. So for the first 25, arranged in this 5 by 5 matrix, so they need the complete touch of the karana with the sthana of the instrument with the position. So if you look at this one, effort, so they all fall under this contact. They fall under the prayatna is contact of the sprushta. Sprushta prayatna, the type of effort is sprushta. But the effort is called sparsha. Sparsha means contact. Sprushta means one which is contact, one which needs contact or which is contacted. So sparsha prayatna or sprushta prayatna, the type of effort is sprushta, contact, is needed for these 25 consonants. But since they are not sounding same and they are arranged in columns, there has to be some difference in the sound, difference in the sound. The first one, the ka, we saw as pronounced in the word kata, the Sanskrit word kata. Let's take kata. What is the meaning of kata?
Mat.
Yeah. Yes, kata means mat. Kata, the first letter here, ka, has to be pronounced with using the instrument Juffa Mula. So this is approximately somewhat equal to K. So I was talking with Uma a little bit earlier. So K in the English pronunciation has somewhat more breath in it, more air in it, whereas this should not have high air in it. So it is still from the throat. Obviously, all the sounds they need air to come out, vibration and air come out, but low air, higher. So here for the K, sparsha is needed, contact is needed, which is not very obvious because both are at the back. Anumula, root of the upper jaw, and Jiffamula, root of the tongue. Both are at the very back, so it may not be very obvious as the other ones which we can experience, which are a little bit at the front in the cavity. But Anumula, Jiffamula, since they are back, we can only have an experience their K. When we say K in the cut or kata, K, there is a complete touch of Juffa Mula happening with the Hanumula, whereas if you are saying just so that is also Juffa Mula is the Karana instrument, and the Kantha is called the Sthana. There is no touch. The air is free flowing there. And in fact, has been explained in our Shiksha Shastra in a very detailed manner. So, is a very fundamental sound, the very basic sound, a relaxed sound, and doesn't require much effort, the least effort of all these sounds. Very natural, no movement of the Juffa, etc. So it's the most basic sound, very natural one. But whereas K, the back of the tongue moves and inside it touches the base of that, the upper part, that's called jaw. K. So the sparsha, that's one type of effort, right? The sparsha, contact, is one effort which we have listed here. Where is it? Okay, so here. Sparsha. Whereas for U, and all the swaras, we were saying that they are open effort, vivrata effort. The type of effort needed there is vivrata, open, no touch. Whereas for K, starting with the K, the sparsha will happen, contact will happen there. Now the other effort we talked is it should be requiring less breath, less air in it. So that is another type of effort we are also going to talk. So here, so we can write here. Less air. Okay? Less air. So in Sanskritam, it's called alpa prana. Okay? Alpa prana. Right? Less air. Alpa prana. So we write it here in in English. There is a word for it. Alpa prana, non-aspirated, less breath. Okay? So on this matrix, let's start writing the effort here. So less effort, less aspiration, non-aspirated, I'm going to say minus A, or you can also write it as NA, non-aspirated, or alpa prana. In Sanskritam you can write A. Now the next one in the series here is Kha. Okay? Kha. This one requiring Kha, we're adding more breath, more prana. Prana is actually breath. Okay? or energy actually. Energy is prana, so we are putting more energy, having more breath there. Mahaprana. So maha means more or high. Mahaprana, more breath. So this is aspirated. So as you see, as I say, ka, there is some difference between ka and ka. There are other minute differences also, but main difference you see here is less breath, more breath. Alpa prana, mahaprana, ka, kha, ka, kha. So we can call it A, just aspirated, or mahaprana. Right? Examples for the words with kha. For the ka we saw kata. What is the example for kha in Sanskritam?
Khadga.
Okay. Khadga, or just we can say khaga, simple one. Or khara. Khaga or khara. Khaga. Khaga. Kha, in this we are making it with a high energy or high breath, we are adding it. Now moving on to the next sound here, ga. In this word itself there is a ga, kha ga. Kha ga. What is the difference between that ka and ga? So both are sthana, karana is same. Sthana is again back of your jaw and karana is jufa mola. But what is the difference between ka and ga now? Are we adding more breath in ga? Is it sounding like kha? Or is there more breath needed when we say ga in kha ga? So when we say kha, and after that say when we say ga, compared to kha, there is less breath here. Kha ga, kha ga. So here there is less breath. So again, we'll change the color here to make it say. So this is less breath, less energy, cool. Ga, kha ga. But what is the difference between ka and ga now? So if you hold your throat, kantha, outside, surround it with your fingers, don't press too hard, surround it, and then you can try to pronounce the word kata, ka, kata, ka, 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 ga, ka, ka, ga, kata, or we'll stay starting with something starting with ga. Ga, gaja.
Gada. Gada.
Right. Gada or gaja. So you surround your fingers around the throat and try to say ka, ta, ka, ga. So you see there is a more vibration, right? When you say ga, ka is muted, and it should be muted. It should be. I mean, somebody experiencing. So it is possible. Sometimes what happens when in the flow of talking, sound might be that vibrations might come out of ka, which is sometimes happens, but technically that is not the right way of pronouncing ka. There should not be any vibration mixed with when we are saying ka. So ka, ka, and ga, ka, ga. So ga, you feel that vibration of waves reaching your fingers, the hand surrounding your throat there. Now which will obviously pass to the air, pass if you are not holding your, whether you hold your, surround your fingers there or not. Vibrations, they are produced there. So that is the difference between ka and ga there. Ka, ga. In sthanam and karanam, they are the same for ka, ga. And the breath, the amount of breath or the energy used for ka and ga, they are similar because they are alpa prana. The difference is that for when I'm pronouncing ka, there is no vibration. It is muted. So it's like the difference between, suppose you hit the wooden table with your coin or something, hit it. So what happens? You don't hear those vibrating sound when you hit a metal compared to wood. Hit the metal and hit the wood, you will find the difference. When you hit the wood, so it's a muted sound, so it feels like the sound is being absorbed. Whereas if you hit a metal, the sound, it feels that the sound waves are reverberating. So the difference is that is the minute difference there, ka and ga. Now this is also a type of effort, difference in the effort, right? One is sparsha, all other are sparsha. These are, they require the contact type of effort. But there are other types of efforts which are differentiating them. Okay? One is the sparsha is common between them. That is the main effort. What is the sparsha? Because that is where the air is being stopped with the contact between the sthana and karana, the position and the instrument. The air is being completely stopped. But now with the other effort, the differentiation of the sound is happening. So now these two types of effort. The main effort is the stopping of the air, which is listed here, and this is called primary effort. The type of effort needed to stop the air is called primary effort. Now the other effort is called the secondary effort. Now in the Sanskrit one, and not written here. So one is called abhyantara prayatna. Abhyantara prayatna means, it also means internal, or in this primary. Abhyantara, if you want to transliteration. Abhyantara. The other one is called Bhasha. Where is the other one? Yeah. This one is called Bhasha. Secondary or external. Now primary and secondary we understood, right? So, but why are they called internal, external? We'll see that in a bit. Now, so primary effort, as far as the primary effort is concerned, now it's clear. I think it's clear to us. All the 25 anjanas we are talking there, they are sprushta, or they need contact, complete contact, full contact between sthana and karana. Now in the external effort with which they are being differentiated, so what are these we have seen now? Alpa prana, non-aspirated, and mahaprana, less breath energy and more air energy here. So ka. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the next two columns with the ga, requiring less effort, ga with the more effort, nga less effort, right? Ga, ga, nga less effort, as far as the breath is concerned. So we can easily know how they are, what is the effort, secondary effort there. So which one is alpa prana, which one is the mahaprana, more breath, less breath, right? Ka, less breath, ka, more breath, ga, less breath, ga, more breath, nga, less breath. However, now coming to the difference between ka and ga. Okay? So in ka, we notice that there is no vibration, as compared to Ga. So when you say Ga, there is some kind of vibration coming out. So that is called Nada here. Nada. That vibration is Nada. And the absence of Nada, that is Shwasa. That's called Shwasa. So the Ka falls under Shwasa there. That means the absence of Nada. Only the air is experienced there. There is no vibration. Whereas Ga, there is Nada or sound or vibration is experienced there. Okay? Now the English translations of these are approximate. I mean, these are not my translations anyway. So these are in different books. But they may not give the intended meaning of what the Sanskrit words indicate. But they are close enough. They may want to say the same thing, but if you see the dictionary meaning, they may not mean the same thing. So Nada, we have the sound there. In Shwasa, there is only air. Air is there. Now, how are these Shwasa and Nada produced? If you further analyze, if you further notice minutely, why is the Nada coming out and why is the Nada or the sound vibrations are not coming out in case of Ka and Ga? Ka and Ga. So the Shikshakara means the people who wrote the Shiksha Granthas, the work there, they have tried to analyze to their best. I mean, they may not be accurate in terms of anatomy, etc., but they come close enough. So what they have analyzed, that sound comes to produce a sound compared to this absence of sound. To produce a sound, there has to be some vibration inside. The vocal cords must vibrate. Right? Vocal cords must vibrate. So that property they called it ghosha. Between your reverse here. The property of vibration, they called it ghosha. The sound, the voice cords, they have to vibrate, producing sound, producing the vibrations. So that vibrational property called it ghosha, producing sound. And to produce the sound, what is needed? Produce the vibrations, what is needed? Or how the throat portion, what they call gala vivara or kantha vivara, which is the cavity inside the throat. How it should behave? One is the vocal cord should vibrate, and so you can compare this to any musical instrument. Suppose there is especially the wind instruments. Suppose or if you take a balloon. So if you want to pass the air out of it, if there is a narrow cavity, right, narrow hole, the vibration is produced. You will see the high pitch there, okay? Vibration. Whereas if it is expanded, you won't, the vibration won't be there, okay? And the air is produced. Vibrations are not there. So there is an absence of sound, absence of vibrations. So these three properties they are putting together here. What they are calling the closeness, or where the constriction within the kantha, within the vocal cavity happens, it's called samvara, constricted throat. This is samvara, which results into vibration or the kampana or vibration, ghosha, producing the nada, producing the vibratory waves. So these are the characters of that Ga sound there. When we say Ga, we have the samvara or constriction in the throat, and because of that vibration happens, because of that the sound is produced. So that is how they are putting this secondary effort or the Bahya Prayatna into this group. Okay. So what this group is, what is this here? So for the Ga, for producing Ga, we need a constricted throat, which is samvara. Okay. Samvara. And let me try to write it neatly. Samvara. And because it is constricted, the vocal cords are going to vibrate, producing the nada, ghosha and nada. So this trio or this set of these three properties together, they are attached to this column, the entire column, not only Ga. So if you look at this column, so all of them, they need the same kind of secondary effort or Bahya Prayatna, Samvara, Ghosha, Nada. Yeah. Constricted throat, vibration and vibratory sound. But if you look at the Ka, there is constriction of throat is not there, it expanded. So that is called Vivara, which is Vivara, Vivruta. We saw the Vivruta as the primary effort. So that is for the Sthana and Karana. Okay. The primary effort is talking between the Sthana and Karana, what kind of effort. But now here, outside the Sthana and Karana, at the Kantha, in the Kantha area, that cavity, what kind of effort is needed. So this is named as Vivara here. Both have similar meaning. Vivruta is also open and Vivara is expanded here. The expanded throat, because of that, the vibration, the absence of vibration, which is aghosha, and because of that, the absence of nada, which is shwasa, just the air comes out. There's no, it's a muted. There is no vibratory feeling there. So this set, which is Vivara, Aghosha and Shwasa. This trio, this set is associated with the first column in our matrix. Let's look at the matrix. So this goes here, or can come from the bottom also, the first column, and the second column also. So this Vivara, Aghosha, Shwasa attached to the first and second column. But what else is attached to the second column? What other kind of effort? So in the primary effort, remember the primary effort which is talks about sthana, the effort between sthana and karana, position and effort. It is the same for all these 25, all the 25. So what was it? It was sprushta. So that was the primary effort. The secondary effort, now we will have to distinguish the sounds. So the first two columns, we are saying that Vivara, Aghosha, Shwasa. So these are associate, means the throat is not constricted here, it's relaxed. Aghosha is absence of vibration, and because of that only air comes out and the vibrations are not felt. So these three properties from the secondary effort group, right? There is a secondary effort which we saw in this one. So Vivara, Aghosha, Shwasa, these are associated with the first and second column. But What is the difference between first and second column now? First and second column, what is the difference?
Airflow.
Yeah, non-aspirated and aspirated. Alpa prana and mahaprana. So that is what determines the individual characteristic of each consonant here. So if you look at the K, so what are the different characters now? The sthanam is hanumula, karanam is jufamula, right? So take the example of the K. So K, sthanam is root of the upper jaw, hanumula. So I'll just upper jaw. And then jufamula, root of tongue, is the karana. And what is the primary effort? Sparsha, full contact, sprashta. So that is a full contact. And what is the secondary effort now? Vivara, right? Vivara,
Open throat.
Vivara, Aghosha, Shwasa, this set. And Alpa Prana. But if you go to the second column, everything remains same, but this one changes, Mahaprana. Yeah. So, Ka, Kha. Yeah. Now, when you move to the third column, everything remains same as this Ka, but this, except this secondary one, secondary effort, we have a different set. So, we have Samvara, okay, Samvara, and with that Samvara goes Ghosha, and then Nada, because they are all effect of the same thing. And it also is Alpa Prana. Now if you move to the fourth column, everything remains as Ga. That is also Samvara, right? Ghosha and Nada, because Ga also you feel that vibration. But we are also additionally adding more energy to it. Ga. Ga. Okay. The same thing, we go with the Talu, palette here. So with this first row, we are not just discussed the last column. And taking 2 minutes back, any questions? Primary effort, secondary effort. No? No question? Okay. Not about the last column yet, no, but also before that, let's take the example of, we saw the example in the word for Ka and Kha, Kata, Khaga, Ga for Gada or Gaja. Gaja means elephant. Kata means mat. Khaga means, Khaga means something, bird, something that flies in the sky. And Gaja means elephant. An example of Gha, Ghata. Ghata means pot. Pot. Pot means not the actual pot. Okay? Now the last column here, the first or last column. This is example in the word is, let's start with anga. English word is, English word,
Song.
yeah, song or sung, song. So this writing is na here, but we don't pronounce it as na. We pronounce it as na here because it is coming before ja, ga here, before ga. Ga is one of the letters in the same row, in the same row. So if any time we want to pronounce the this type of letter here, which is coming before any letter like this, we change it sound to nga. For example, the Sanskrit word anga. Anga means, what is anga? Limb. Okay. Limb. Anga. A limb or part. Anga. So you see here what is happening here. You can possibly try to do it in a slow motion. Anga. So, anga. Again the sthana karana. If you notice, it is similar to ka, right? Where the ka is touching, same place it is touching. Anga. However, along with that sthana of Hanumola, where else? What else is happening here? It is also passing through the nose. There is a nasal involvement here. Okay? So whereas ka, kha, ga, gha, there is no nasal involvement. So technically, if you close your mouth, these should sound the same. With closing the mouth, with not the mouth, nose. With you close the nose without or not, the ka, kha, ga, gha should sound the same. Whereas nga, we is not able to pronounce if you close the nose, because the air passes through nose also. Okay? Also is important. Also is, underline that also. So when we say ka, where is the ka, kha, ga, gha, the air passing from where? It passes through mouth, out of the mouth, right? Ka, kha. Obviously, the swara is added to it, right? So it passes through mouth here, totally. So the nasal involvement is not there, nasal involvement. But when I say nga, the nasal involvement is there. The part of air passes through nose, partially. Okay? So partially through mouth, partially through nose. The sthanam for nga is not only Hanumola, root of uparjas, which is same as ka, kha, ga, gha, but it is also nasika or nose. Also, not only nose, it is also nose. With this Hanumola, it is also nose. So that is the difference. But otherwise, the primary effort is prushta, contact, full contact between the sthana and karanam. Whereas the secondary effort, what is the secondary effort? Can you guess? Alpa prana or mahaprana? Prana. So there is prana, ka, kha, ka, there is an alpa prana, kha, more mahaprana, ga, alpa prana, less, gha, more effort, nga, less effort, right? Nga, alpa prana. But what about the other ones? Other set, does it come under this trio or that trio? Vivara, Aghosha, Shwasa, Samvara, Ghosha, Nada. So, because when you say Nga, there is vibration. There is still vibration there. Nga. It is not surd or muted. So where is that? Here. Nga. So this falls under Samvara, Nada, Ghosha. So if you look at Hanumola, Juffamola, Sthana Karana remains same, Sprushta, all are Sprushtas, and it is still Nada, Ghosha, Samvara, but also, so what is the difference? This is also same thing then, right? Nada, Ghosha, Samvara, this is also Nada, Ghosha, Samvara, this is also Hanumola and Sprushta. But the additional quality is Anunasika, nasal. Okay. Also means with the mouth. Okay. With this Hanumola sthana, additional sthana is nose or nasal. So that is a distinguishing character of this last column. Okay. So once you understand this, it would be easy to understand this entire matrix, correct? So only the thing is that we are separating the sthana here. Okay. The sthana we already know, and this column is what is that columns? This one is Vivara, Aghosha, and Shwasa, and Alpaprana. Vivara, Aghosha, Shwasa, Alpaprana. And same thing goes with this also, these three, but this is Mahaprana, only the last one changes. And this one is Samvara, Ghosha, Nada, but Alpaprana. The last A comes here. But SGN repeats here, N Mahaprana becomes Mahaprana. Now this one, SGNA repeats here, right? Samvara, Ghosha, Nada, Alpaprana. But additionally, sthana remains, this sthana remains, but we are also adding a sthana of nose. Okay.
I have a quick question. The last point you just made about the nose is very clarifying to me. I finally understand how to pronounce that. Can you explain one more time where the constriction in the throat, how that last ga would be physically pronounced?
So this transliteration is misleading here. I mean, I just use the transliteration tools. I mean, this is the actual transliteration, but when you see that G, that is misleading. So let me, okay. So here, this is not to be pronounced as G. This is N. So similar to a sang. So when you say sang in the song or sung, when you say sang, we are not pronouncing it sun and G. Okay? We are not pronouncing, when you pronounce only sun, we are pronouncing the na sound there, na. But when you are adding the G after this, we are not pronouncing, this sound changes. This is no more na. So this changes to na. For example, in the Sanskrit word anga, which is also written like nga at the top and ga at the bottom. It is the same thing. This is consonant nga. This is also consonant nga and full ga. So anga. So suppose you pronounce this as no as ka. Start pronouncing it as ka. Don't actually pronounce ka, but think that you are pronouncing ka, but you are nasalizing it. Yeah? You are passing the air through nose also when you are pronouncing ka. The Jifamula root of tongue is again still touching the Hanumula there, but the air is allowed to pass through nose also. Anga.
Ink.
Ink. Yeah. Ink. Think. So when you say ink, so this ink. So then after pronouncing this, it will stop here. Ink. So this may be more, you can probably able to distinguish this better, more clearly if we try other nasal words also here. And this plus nose, this.
There is some, but the G becomes silent. So that might come close to this sound.
Which one? Sound?
No, Gnome. It's the actual word, but it is pronounced as gnome.
Okay, no. Yeah. I call it genome. Genome. No. Yeah. So other examples, Sanskrit examples are plenty, right? Like Wang Maya. That no reminded me. This Wang Maya. So after na, there is ma here, but this is a different example. Let's see. So
like Kangan.
which one?
I don't know. There is a word in Hindi called Kangan, which is actual. It might be something similar.
Okay. So this one, when you add nose in addition to its original sthana, base sthana, we add nasal factor also here, nasal factor also. So nose in Sanskrit is called nasika. Nasika is nose. And nasika means which is connected with nose. Something to do with nose is nasika. So now these letters are also called anunasika. Anunasika. Anunasika means anu means follows. Follows, following nose. That means it also involves nose. Involves nose along with the sthana here. Anunasika consonant.
Mother, I am not able to distinguish nose sound and ngo. How? Ngo.
Which sound? This sound. Go with what?
Yeah. No. So I try to close my nose and then try to speak. How?
Try to speak this one.
Yes. No.
You are trying to close the nose and trying to speak na.
No. I'm trying to distinguish how nose is involved in this ngo.
Okay. So, what was your example? Anga. Okay. Suresh, now you want to try anga, closing the nose with and without?
No, I think this sound is not possible by closing the nose. So it includes the nasal sound. So you cannot pronounce it by closing the nose. Anga, that automatically nasal part is involved.
Right. So Sheila, so when, suppose if I try to pronounce anga, so now I'm pronouncing anga, I'm not holding my nose. But if I hold the nose, I cannot bring out that sound at all. It stops there. Yeah.
Yeah, on anga I tried. I am not able to speak, but only solely pronouncing nga. Nose was not involved. Okay, it's funny. Okay, I got it.
No, yeah. So if I try to pronounce nga with closing, it doesn't come out.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
With the anga I cannot pronounce, but only pronouncing nga I can pronounce without nose. I tried. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the common word we have all been using in Sanskrit is the linga, Purusha linga, Sri linga. So in that also is.
Yeah, linga. Now talu, I mean, these are explanatory, I think. The only difference is the base sthana. Again, this row also, talking about this row, it remains talu, it remains parsha, the primary effort, and the secondary effort we have seen based on columns, they also remain same. So cha, cha, ja, jha, ya. So cha, what is the example for the cha?
Charity.
Chalati.
Chala, or only chala. So this cha, the talu is the where the sthana, karana is touching, middle top of tongue, jifa madhya is the karana, is touching the talu, cha, unlike e. E has a similar place, but there is no touch. The air flows out free there. At talu, there is not, in this case, there is a touch for all these, cha, cha. But again, cha, alpa prana, cha, mahaprana, ja, alpa prana, jha, mahaprana, ya, alpa prana. And this is cha, vivara, aghosha, shwasa, samvara, nada, this one is samvara, nada, ghosha. And this also, vivara, shwasa, aghosha. Samvara, nada, ghosha. And ya, and additionally we have anunasika, nasal, nose is involved. Example for cha, 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 chala, cha, we have
Chatra.
chatra. Or even chala is also there, right? Chala. And then chatra is also cha, chatra. And for ja,
Jala.
jala. Jala means water, ja. And for jha, jhasha. Jhasha. Jha. And for the last one, nya, this is a nya sound, nya. So again, similar to nya. So nya, nya can be independently pronounced with adding a swara there, nya. After that there is a. But it is usually used with when there is a following consonant which falls in one of these consonants in the same row. Okay. So we saw that anga there. Anga. The ga is in the same row. That is why this we are pronouncing this no in this manner. So it takes that sthana with nose. Okay. So same thing with ya. What is the example for ya?
Sinchati.
Sinchati or anja.
Vyanjana.
Vyanjanam also has. Vyanja also has anja there. Anja. So what is anja made up of? And ya is there as a vyanjanam or a consonant, and then there is a ja. Why? Because ja is in the same row. Or similarly we have ancha also. Ancha. Ancha. So cha is also in the same row. So when there is consonant following that the nasal sound, and that consonant in the same row, then that nasal sound becomes the talu or pellet. In this case, in the first row it was Hanumola, and this case it is talu. So ancha, so that nya is also touching the talu there, and then the cha comes out there without the nose. Ancha, anja.
I'm sorry, I don't quite hear the sound. Is there a English word that you can compare?
Yeah, English word should be there.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. So there may be a difference how different people pronounce this, because some people actually stop here a little bit. Enjoy. It's like this, they use this na word there, na sound there, enjoy. But if there is no stop, because we want to pronounce ja immediately after this sound, ja and na sound, so when there is no gap between this ja and this sound, so the na sound disappears and it changes to nya there, because that is in the same row, right? This is in the same row, ja.
What
in
about
this,
inch?
Yeah, inch. Yeah, inch. Inch is also another. Inch. Yeah, that may be better. Inch.
It could also be enchanted. Enchanted.
Enchanted. Yeah, enchanted. So the na, this na, we are not going to pronounce it as yan here, or na, like enacted, enact. That na will not be there. But it is going to change it to nya here. Inch. Inch. So the tongue moves up towards that palate area. Where is the palate area? Here. The palate area, the tongue moves up, just like pronouncing e, but it touches there because we are saying nya there. When it touches, the air also flows through the nose, and then the ja comes out. Then the ja comes out, like, or ja comes out in inch. Inch.
Sanjeev ji,
Yeah.
is the last column used only with the consonants in the respective rows?
No, they can have a vowel also after that. Like, as I say, nga, without the consonant. So I can say nga or nga. Right? If I add nga, after nga, it can be a swara can be after that. A vowel can be after this last column.
What I mean is, say on the second column we have the nya, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can that be used with any of the other alphabets in the first column, like the ka, kha, ga, or it has to follow the rule that when you have the ka, kha, ga, gha, then that nya in the first row that is used?
No, in the first row that is used, yes.
Oh, okay. So there's a restriction there.
Yeah. The
Okay.
restriction means it is natural, right? Because we can't take the tongue to the palate position and then pronounce k.
Okay, thank you.
But sir, for Nya, the part played by Nastika is very less.
Yeah. But anyway, so that is the natural way of pronouncing. That when we are pronouncing any consonant after basically it is a no sound. So since you are asking here, let's say if you separate in that anga, if you do not pronounce nga and ga together, immediately after each other, suppose if you want to stop here. Okay? So the base sound here is actually na, okay? And there is ga. And ga. These are the original sounds, and ga. But if you pronounce them separately, then you are pronouncing ma there. How is the ma pronounced? This is labial. This is oshtha. We are closing the mouth and stopping the air there. Ma. And since it is anunasika, falling in the last column, the air passes through nose also, right? The air stops and flows through nose also. Stops at the lip. But there is ga after that, and then ga. But so when we join them together, bring them close enough, very close, then this we cannot pronounce ma there. So it has to, our jufa or the tongue has to follow this sthana rule. So because the following consonant belongs to this position, this ma sound disappears and it changes to this sound. Because it has to immediately produce this sound after that, whose position is here. So this ma sound disappears and it takes the position of this anumula, in this case, anga case. In this anch or inch case, because there is you have to pronounce cha immediately after that nasika, which was originally maybe na or maybe ma, something else. So it has to come to this sthana position. Be ready to pronounce the next consonant. It has to get ready, right, to pronounce the next consonant. So this one, the previous one changes to the last column of the same row. Anga, anja, inch. Okay. Okay, the next one, murdha. Murdha, position all we know, sprishta, primary effort, and the secondary efforts by column they are changing, and the karana is rolled, underside tongue of tip, and ta, tha, da, dha, na. And just before the start of the class, I was just discussing about it, that somewhat in English pronunciation, when the murdha are mostly missing. So when we say ta, tha, da, na, when we say talk, for example, talk, mostly the ta with the tip of the tongue, the English native speakers, they tend to touch this part rather than this part. Okay. So this part is different. This is more closer to the tooth rather than the crown here. Crown is that one which is curving, whereas this one still ahead of that. Okay. So with the tip of the tongue, when we touch this, a different kind of sound comes out, though it may sound similar, but it is not the same as specified in that chart. So this is mostly native English speakers, they tend to go here. So when I say talk, so this is a bit lower there, talk. So it sounds a bit softer here, closer to ta, because it is closer to root of the tooth there. But if I move up a little bit, just above where that hard part ends there, ta, the crown, and then roll the tongue. That is important. They are Shiksha Granthas clearly say underside of the tongue, tip of the tongue. Ta. That is a very distinctive feature of these Murdha letters. Ta, tha. And the ta, tha, Murdha letters, they are very distinctive nature. They produce the very distinctive vibration throughout the Murdha head, the entire head. So, ta, tha, da, dha. Again, by column they differ in the secondary effort. The last one has the Anunasika. The example for ta, tha, da, dha, starting with ta.
Patati.
No. This Alpa Prana.
Alpa Prana.
Nothing with the ta.
Talu.
Led.
Huh?
Led. Lakara. Led.
See, again, what I hear you, Kattamodaya, when you say lat, I'm hearing this da. This should be ta. Lat.
Lata.
Not lata. Lata is different. Lata is, you are saying this. Lat is different. So tongue kana, for example. No, please. Kartamode mute.
Yes, Karnataka.
Yeah, can you mute your line? Okay. So, tongue kana means typing. Tongue kana. In this first ta. And then is a Mahaprana tha. Like tha. Like for example, pathati. Pathati. Then the. What do we have?
You're asking the?
Yeah, this one.
The Vadu.
Huh?
You're asking about the?
Yeah, this third column, the. Like dog. Dog is the English word. The is simple, right? Or damaru. Damaru is a musical instrument. And dha. Dha. This is with Mahaprana. Same dha, like da we have. Here there is, this is not Mahaprana, this is Alpa Prana. So we add more breath to it. This is called dha.
Dhavati.
Oh, see, Dhavati, you are moving to this next line, okay, which is the root of the upper teeth. Okay. So here we are using more dha.
Dhola.
Dhol. Dhakka, dhol. So maybe you should understand the difference, especially non-native Indian speakers, the difference between this and this. Ta, ta. So how that there is lata. In this there is a dantya, or this root of the upper teeth, the tip of the tongue touches for ta. Yeah, lata. So if I show the diagram here, when we are saying lata ta, root of the tongue, tip of the tongue touches the root of the tooth here. Yeah. And we have the murdha here with the underside of the tongue touching there. So when we say tongue kana ta, so it has to go here and with your underside of the tongue it has to touch there. Do not use the tip of the tongue touching here or here. come back, roll back and come back. And then with the dha also, dhol. So there also we have in dha, which is the same as this rolled position here back, not tip of the root, tip of the tongue and the root of the teeth, and not in between, So it is back here.
Thank you. I think I have to work more on that
Yeah.
too, because I tend to pronounce it closer to the dental.
Yes, this is the most challenging one for the non-native Indian speakers, Bodha one, because that position does not exist for mostly, because that is little bit lower in the English pronunciation with the tip of the tongue. The rolled one is not used. And then the danta, this is ta, tha, da, tha, na. So we have example, ta, tala,
Lata.
tala, lata. So here also make sure that tip of the tongue touches the root of the tooth, not above it, not the skin part, just where the skin and the tooth meet. And then the tha, obviously more breath. The is softer, vibrational, like then, something like then. But do not add breath in it. Then. And dha is more breath in it. Na anunasikam, for example, like namaskara. So we have na, the first letter, na. So here, if you close your mouth, na won't come out, or should not come out, because the breath is blocked there. The air is blocked there at the nose. So na uses both. The tip of the tongue has to touch the root of the upper teeth, and the air has to come out of the nose. Na. So na. So na, the last row has ostha, upper lip and lower lip playing their parts to stop the air. So, and the secondary efforts are applicable to these columns still. Pa, pa, more breath here. Pa is like pop or peak. This pa is simple. Then pa is something I think Karta Mahoday asked some time back. Pa.
Yeah, yes, I remember.
Yeah, so pa. So this is a different sound than in English, possibly, because if you say father, so here what we are trying to do this fa here, and we say in English pronunciation father. Hopefully, I'm saying it right, father. So we are trying to push the air through the upper teeth there. Fa. Obviously, the lips do not close completely here. Father. So it is more like a dental plus lips. Both are involved here. Father. Whereas in pa, both the lips have to meet. Pa. Only the difference between this pa and this pa is similar to ka and ka. This we are adding more energy here, but we are not opening the lips for pa. Now after pronouncing, to bring it out, we are adding sound. Because of that, the lips open for the sound, but not for the fa sound. For the fa in father, it is the air is being pushed through the teeth there, not like that. But here it is simple. There are no teeth involved here. Pa, pa. So for example, phala. Phala. This is not phala. Fa is different. Fa, like father, teeth are involved. No teeth here. Pa. Simple, relaxed, with just the teeth closing, with more energy compared to pa. Pa, pa, patra, pha, phala, and then ba. Similar internal effort is different here. Ba, ba, baka. Udaharanam. Example. Bha, more sound, more energy. Bha. What is the example here? Bha.
Bharat.
Bhara, Bharata. And na is the last one, that is again anunasikam, means having the nose also involved here. Na. But lips are, both the lips are closed and to stop the air, and then pronounce the required following letter. It could be vowel like anara, or even nama, namaskara, nama. After that nama, o is there. So to pronounce the o sound, the lips have to again, they have to follow their own sthana, etc. If it is e, nami, for example, nami, nama, ma is there. The lips are involved here, worst. And to pronounce e after that, the e is sthana, karana, they are involved. E has its own sthana, the e has talu, the palate, right? Nami, example I am saying, nami. So whatever follows that, that will follow after that nama. But for just for nama, lips have to close. Just for ma. Ma. And because the last column, nose is involved here. Okay, can stop here today. If any has any question, they can stay back, or they can email, or they can join next week, 50 minutes earlier.
Okay.
Very two questions.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. What is the question?
Yeah. In Telugu, when we learn this letter, for the first few rows,